the poster child for high context cultures tends to be Japan. For example, somebody can say, I saw like a joke on YouTube like a couple of months ago where somebody was saying a Japanese person can say, "Oh, your child is really lively," and it's basically code for, get your child under control. That child is unruly. Or, please come back again. It's never come back to my house again. So it's not. And while I was researching this, I actually came across a video, another video that spoke about, this guy in the video was saying that he has a Japanese friend, and she was saying that that in Japan it's not only what you say or what is said to you, but the atmosphere basically of when the thing was said, and you'll even see it in the language as well, that they have, specific words to refer to how you greet somebody older than you, somebody more senior than you at work. Whereas, even in African cultures, I wouldn't, for example, I was very uncomfortable, when somebody could say, when somebody says, sorry, I could call them by their first name if they're older than me or significantly older than me, for example. Whereas, in monochromatic cultures, that's not so much, an issue as it would be in, polychromatic culture. So all of these things, translate to how we interact and how we live lives, and those things at the end of the day, I mean, I could go in on a more granular level than that, but you sort of get the gist that time is basically viewed depending on what your culture espouses or values. Because of those values, how then view time in pursuit of those values. So going back again, a polychromatic culture is very high context because they are very people, very communal people. Like, for example, amongst African cultures here in South Africa, there's a concept called Ubuntu. I know, I'm sure you've learned, if you're South African, you probably heard it to death in school. Or another way, if you're not South African, it takes a village to raise a person. A person is a person because of other people. And that's how African people view, time. Time is something to be spent, with other people, doing things communally with other people. So you're a lot more relaxed about how you view time, because time is not measured, the value of your time is not measured in what you accomplish, but more so in how you impact other people. Being late to a specific task is not necessarily as frowned upon, but rather people, and how you treat people in a certain task. Whereas, for example,